Tonight, on Scary Moo, we did something so reckless, so horrifying, that even now, my hands are shaking as I record this. We went somewhere no one should ever go, and we brought something back with us, something we wish we could forget. We opened a haunted box from the dark web, and the regret hit us instantly. If you're watching this, consider this your warning. What you're about to hear isn't just a scary story. It's a cautionary tale, a glimpse into the real horror that lurks in the shadows of the internet. You've seen the stories, right? The ones where some fool orders a mystery box off the dark web, opens it on camera, and finds some weird, creepy stuff inside? Usually, it's old dolls, cryptic notes, maybe something gross. But those are just stories, right? Just clickbait for the easily spooked. That's what I thought, too. Until the box arrived at my door. Until I heard the scratching from inside. Until I realized, sometimes the dark web delivers more than you bargained for. Let me take you back to the beginning. It started as a dare. My friends and I run this channel because we love horror. We live for those chills, those moments when your brain tells you to look away, but your eyes can't. But there's a big difference between telling ghost stories and inviting horror into your home. We found a thread on a hidden forum, buried deep in the dark web, advertising haunted artifacts. Genuine, not for the faint of heart. The seller called themselves Caretaker, and their posts were chilling. They claimed to collect objects that had been used in real rituals, boxes sealed with curses, items taken from haunted houses, things that, in their words, should never see the light again. Most people would have clicked away. But we're not most people. We sent the payment. No tracking, no return address, just a message. You'll know when it arrives. Do not open after midnight. Do not open alone. I laughed at the time. Just an act, right? But when the box showed up, wrapped in burlap, tied with what looked like human hair, the wax seal pressed with a symbol I'd never seen, my laughter died in my throat. The first thing I noticed was the smell. Old earth, rot, and something metallic, like dried blood. It was heavier than it looked, and when I picked it up, I swear I felt a pulse, like something alive was trapped inside. My friends joked about it, but I could see it in their eyes, they felt it too. The air in the room changed. It grew cold, heavy. Our dog wouldn't go near it. The lights flickered whenever we brought the box close. And every so often, we'd hear it. A faint scratching, like fingernails on wood, coming from inside. We decided to wait until the sun was high, none of that midnight nonsense. But even in daylight, the box seemed to swallow the light around it. As I slid the knife under the wax seal, I hesitated. The hairs on my arms stood up. My heart thudded so hard I thought I might faint. But I pressed on. The wax cracked, the hair snapped, and the lid creaked open. Inside, we found 5 objects. Each one worse than the last. At first, it just looked like junk. A porcelain doll's head, cracked and painted with something that looked disturbingly like blood. A bundle of old letters, tied with a ribbon stained black. A tiny wooden coffin, the size of a rat, with something rattling inside. A jar filled with cloudy water and, floating within, what looked like a human tooth. And finally, a photograph. Black and white, faded, showing a group of people in old-fashioned clothes, standing in a circle around a hole in the ground. Someone had scratched out all their faces. Except one. The figure in the back, tall and blurry, with eyes so dark they seemed to follow you wherever you went. We thought it was a prank. But then the lights went out. All at once. Every bulb in the house. Our phones died. The scratching from the box grew louder, more desperate. And then, the smell, rotten, suffocating, filling the room. We tried to laugh it off, but there was no laughter left in us. Only fear. I picked up the letters. The ribbon fell away, and the paper felt damp, sticky. The first letter was addressed to, Dearest Mother, and what followed was a confession. The writer spoke of hearing voices, of seeing shadows in the corners of their vision, of digging a hole behind the old church at midnight, burying something that should not be. Each letter grew more frantic, the handwriting devolving into jagged lines, until the last page was covered in nothing but the words, It wants out. It wants out. It wants out. The doll's head was the next object. When I touched it, I felt a jolt, like static, but deeper, in my bones. Its eyes had been gouged out, and where the mouth should have been, someone had stitched it shut with wire. One of my friends, Laura, swore she heard it whisper her name. The rest of us said she was imagining things, but I could see her hands shaking. She dropped the head, and it rolled across the floor, coming to rest at my feet, mouth turned up in a bloody grin. The coffin was the worst. I wish I'd never opened it. Inside was a tiny, shriveled figure, like a dead bird, but with a human face. Its eyes were open, staring, the mouth twisted in a scream. As soon as I touched it, every window in the house rattled, the wind howled, and the temperature dropped so fast I could see my breath. I heard voices, whispers in a language I didn't know, chanting, pleading. I slammed the coffin shut, but the whispers didn't stop. They echoed in my head, growing louder, until all I could hear was screaming. The jar was next. The water inside was cloudy, swirling, and the tooth kept bumping against the glass over and over, as if it was trying to get out. Laura picked it up, and suddenly she gasped. Her nose started bleeding, red pouring down her chin. She dropped the jar, and it rolled under the couch. The bleeding stopped as suddenly as it started, but Laura was pale, her eyes wide with terror. "It bit me," she whispered. I felt it bite. The photograph was the last item. I stared at it, unable to look away from that face, the one the others hadn't scratched out. The eyes were impossibly dark, empty. I blinked, and for a moment, I thought I saw the figure move, just a fraction, closer to the hole. My phone buzzed, finally flickering to life. One message. "You opened it. It's yours now." No sender, just those words. We tried to put everything back in the box, to seal it up, but the lid wouldn't close. It was like the objects had grown, or the box had shrunk. No matter how we pushed or pressed, it wouldn't shut. That's when the knocking started. At first, it was faint, just a tap at the window. Then louder, pounding at the door, the walls, the floor. We checked the windows, no one there. But the knocking kept coming, closer, more insistent. We decided to burn the box. Maybe fire would destroy whatever curse we'd unleashed. We carried it to the backyard, doused it in lighter fluid, and set it alight. The flames flickered, blue and green, casting shadows that writhed and twisted. But the box didn't burn. The wood blackened, the wax melted, but the objects inside remained untouched, as if the fire refused to touch them. That night, none of us slept. Shadows moved in the corners of my room. I heard footsteps in the hallway, soft and shuffling. I locked my door, but something scratched at it, slow and patient, all night long. In the morning, the box was back on my desk, untouched by fire, the photograph on top. The figure in the picture was gone. Just an empty hole in the ground, and the others standing around it, faces still scratched out. But the eyes, those eyes, were everywhere I looked. Laura started acting strange. She wouldn't speak, wouldn't eat. She'd just stare at the wall, rocking back and forth, whispering, "It wants out. It wants out." When I asked her what she meant, she just laughed, a hollow, broken sound. Her nails were bloody, the tips raw. She'd scratched, "It's here," into the wood of her desk, over and over until her fingers bled. I started seeing things, too. Faces in mirrors, watching me. Hands reaching from the shadows. I'd hear voices at night, calling my name, promising things if I'd only open the box again. The smell of rot never left. It clung to my clothes, my skin, my bed. The dog disappeared. Just gone, no trace. And every night, the scratching got louder. We tried to get rid of the box. We drove to the edge of town, tossed it in the river. The next morning, it was back on the porch, soaking wet, the photograph lying on top. This time, my face was scratched out in the picture. I started researching the symbol on the box. It's old, older than any language I could find. It shows up in stories about the Hollow One, a spirit that lives in things that should never be opened. In every story, there's a box, a warning, and someone who ignores it. And always, the same ending. Someone vanishes, and the box finds a new owner. The letters talk about it, too. The Hollow One eats names, one reads. It lives in the spaces between. It finds you in the dark. Another says, if you open the box, you are the box. I don't know what that means, but I see it now, every time I close my eyes. A hole in the ground, surrounded by faceless figures, and something climbing out. My friends began to disappear. First Laura. She left in the middle of the night. The front door was wide open, her shoes still by the bed. No one's seen her since. Then Greg, gone, without a trace, just a smear of black on his bedroom wall, like something burned him out of existence. I tried to call for help, but no one answered. The messages I sent came back undelivered, or worse, replied to by someone else, Someone who just sent a picture of the box. I'm alone now. The box sits at the foot of my bed. Every night, the scratching grows louder, more desperate. Sometimes I hear it whisper my name, promising release. The photograph has changed again. The hole is bigger. The figures are closer. My face is gone, replaced by a smear of darkness. Last night, I woke up to find the box open. The objects arranged in a circle around my bed. The doll's head was on the pillow beside me, mouth hanging open, as if it had something to say. I tried to destroy the box again, to burn it, drown it, smash it. Nothing works. It always comes back. The letters say you can only get rid of it by passing it on, by convincing someone else to open it. That's what the caretaker does. That's what I've become. I'm telling you all of this not because I want to scare you, though I know I am, but because you need to know. These haunted boxes aren't stories. They aren't games. They're traps, bait for the curious, the reckless, the desperate. Once you open the box, it never lets you go. It follows you, haunts you, eats away at everything you love until there's nothing left but darkness. If you ever see a listing for a haunted box online, do not buy it. Do not open it. Do not even look at the pictures. Because the hollow one is always hungry, and it's always watching. It's in the spaces between the words, in the shadows under your bed, in the silence after the lights go out. I don't know how much longer I have. The scratching is louder than ever. My vision blurs, my thoughts slip away. I see the hole in the photograph growing, swallowing everything. If I disappear, remember this. You can't escape the box once you've opened it. You can only pass it on. But every time you do, it takes a piece of you with it. Thank you for watching Scary Moo. If you want more true horror stories, real encounters with the things that lurk just out of sight, subscribe now. Hit the bell so you never miss a warning. And remember, sometimes the scariest monsters aren't the ones you see, but the ones you invite in. Whatever you do, don't open the box.